So today I'd like to actually show more functionalities in the app, and that will be the functionality to receive the material, to release the material. Also, we'll go over the material reconciliation, and the whole demo. Well, thanks to our IT team, the issue that we had yesterday with the AT&T Wi-Fi blocking the port for AirPlay is resolved. So right now I'm using my iPhone to do the demo. I am using the same app that you can install and work review today. Out of curiosity, how many people installed the app? All right. So I am going to show how to install the app, so it will encourage you to do it, please. So I'll start with that. So you've seen our posters here. So the first time that you launch the app, you will see a guided tour. This is something that Margaret showed on her slides yesterday. This is kind of a brief overview of the functionalities of the app. It is a four-page guide. The first one is about sending and receiving material. You can go back and forth, scan barcode. At any time, you can tap on skip button at the bottom right to dismiss the guided tour, or at the end, tap on done to finish. So this is our login page. We designed both the Materials app and the Flick app that played our whole demo to have the same kind of look and feel. The Fleet app, we also added some coloring theme that we still are working on the Materials, but in terms of icons and the placement of the look and feel of the app, they are kind of the same. We're trying to do that. So we have the name of the material, name of the app on the top. We have the icon, fields for the username, password, also a logo. Right now it's just AgileAssets logo, it could be your agency's logo. At the bottom you see two icons. Settings is for in the level setup, so don't worry about that for now. The about is if you install the app, if you want to know what version you're running, you can tap on that and see the version number. Right now we have version 1.0, and the build number displays the time that the app was built. So if you find any issues that you want to report, it's good to know that what build number you're running, so we can troubleshoot it. So I am logging in with one of our demo usernames. User 10, all of these demo usernames that you guys can use from user 01 to user 09 have no password set up. Of course, in the production system, you have the password. When you tap on login, the same authentication that the main application does for authenticate the user will be done, and if the authentication is successful, you're logging into the app. So the next view, again, I explained yesterday, these are the admin units that you're assigned to work with. You can search if the list is long. Right now I'm going with District 5, Unit 1. This is our main window of the app, which unfortunately you don't see the bottom part, the text, but the first one is the In tab. The Out tab is the second one, third the reconciliation, and then settings. So right now I am in the In tab. Yesterday I showed the functionality for requesting a transfer, initiating it, fulfilling and accepting. So today I'd like to show receive of the material. There's different terminology. Some of you use purchase material, some use receive. So that's basically the same. This is when you adding material into your stocks from an outside agency, not from another admin user stock. So again, this is the list of material that you can choose. You can browse through it. You can use the search to select, or you can use the barcode, since I'm using the scanner right now. So basically it uses the iPhone's camera to perform scanning. So using these posters, we have put the scans there for you. You line it up. It chooses the material. So this is the spanner. I select that, and if it cannot find the barcode, it will show that, it gives you the message. But scanning, I don't know how many of you in your agency use barcode scanner. It will definitely speed up the process for doing these kind of material transfers, or later on I'll show you reconciliation as well. So this is the list of material that you own. So you're receiving into your stocks, and your District 5 Unit 1, and across different warehouses, you have these materials. By default, it is sorted by quantity. So on the top, you have the name of the material that you chose, quantity, and location are the two ways that you can sort. So you can sort it by location, and let's say I choose the main warehouse. So this is the form that you enter the amount that you are receiving. So this is the field here. Let's say I'm receiving 1. You can add a unit cost. You can add a purchase order ID and a purchase line ID if you want to. Clicking on save, it gives you a message that the purchase record created, and it will be dismissed after a couple of seconds. Unlike material transfers, the receipt and also the release of materials they don't need any kind of acceptance, so they automatically are executed in the system. So this was an example of receiving material into a stock that you already have. So you already had a spanner in your main warehouse and you're receiving into it. Also, if you don't have materials, let's say it's a new material, the system lets you create a new stock. So this time I am doing the same thing, receiving the material, but going with the torch wrench, selecting material. And since I don't have any stocks for that, it gives me a line with 0 as the number of items that I have in that stock, meaning that by completing this receipt of material, it will create a stock for me. So I choose that. Let's say I want 2 of these. Let's say $20 and some purchase order ID as well to save. You receive a message, and the material is already received into your main warehouse. So yesterday I showed requesting a transfer. Today I showed the receipt of the material, and these are the 2 functionalities you can do in the In tab, which is, you don't see the text, but it is the first tab on the left. Now the Out tab. So the transfer out, basically you do the same thing as transfer in, but in the opposite direction. You are transferring out of your agency. The first row that you see there is transfer out, meaning that you're transferring from your stock to another agency's stock. So it follows the same process of accepting as well. Today, I'd like to show the release of a material, which could be in your agency. You might use the terminology sell material. So user taps on receive a material. Now in this list, you're looking at a list of all the materials that you have with the name on the left, the measurement unit below that, so biodiesel, gallons, and the number on the right is the total number of that material across all of your warehouses. Let's see that again. You can browse through it. You can use the search on top, or you can tap on the barcode and do barcode scanning. So I am going to I wanted to choose the molecule range actually. Okay, so I choose the material molecule range. Tapping on the record, it will give me a list of all the warehouses that I own that have this material with the count on the right. Again, the default is by quantity. You can tap on location to sort it to sort by quantity, and now it's sorted by location. So I choose the main warehouse. This is the form. You see on the top the name of the material, the available quantity that I have, and the amount that I want to release in the next tab. So I'll put 3, say it costs 30, and if you want to put any comments there. You get the message, you can dismiss the message, and again, the same as receiving the material, the release is executed immediately.
When you transfer material out, can you charge it against the work order?
Not with this app. So with this app, it's only the materials management. It's pretty much the same functionality that I will show the web application as well, but it is the same functionality that you can do in your material management window. You can transfer, you can release, and you can receive. But it will be a good thing to add it to our, when we have a work order application that we can tie to this one. That would be a good thing to do.
Unit doesn't pull it from the main system, or you have to fill it in all the time?
So it's supposed to pull it in. I guess these are the demo database that we prepared. For some reason, those unit costs are not set up correctly. But yes, it's supposed to show the default unit cost for you, and then you can edit it. That's a good thing. Sure.
I think directory authentication, that it pulls from the main system when you log in on the page. So if you
it should work the same way. So basically, it will send your username and password to the server, and if the server is set up to be Active Directory authentication, the server authenticates you and sends a message back that you're good. Any more questions? Okay. So with that, let me just show. I'm logging into the main application as our demo application. To material management. For those of you who haven't seen this, this is the window that you do this kind of material transactions, like transferring to another admin unit, receiving and releasing material. So on the top left, there's a list of admin units. Right now I'm interested in certified unit 1. Bottom left, you have the material class codes that you want to filter. Right now I'm looking for all 3 demo class codes that we have. On the top right are the stocks that I own, the quarterly returns. And at the bottom left is there are 3 transactions that I just created. There were 2 receipts, Torx wrench, spanner. So the Torx wrench was the one that was added as a new stock, spanner to an existing stock, and the marker range that was released. Okay, so going back to the app. Oh, actually, I'll show something else. So here, I want to switch to the reconciliation. For the reconciliation first, the process is that on the main application, a supervisor, a warehouse manager, someone who wants to start the reconciliation goes to our actual reconciliation window. And here, we will create a new reconciliation. So insert record, we are offered to choose the material class codes that we want to freeze. I'll choose all three. It will tell me that you have to choose the reason for that. I choose inventory reconciliation, save. So at this time, all of my stocks in District 5, Unit 1, for all of those three class codes are listed here with their current counts. So if I'm going to start a reconciliation, I right-click and freeze. And at this time, all of those stocks are frozen. So you cannot do any kind of transfers for any of the materials within those stocks. You cannot receive into or release those materials until the reconciliation is either deleted or completed. So after I do this, now someone in the main app, in the iOS app, when they log in and they go to that District 5 Unit 1, they see a badge with the number 49 on the tab, the third tab. That shows that there are 49 items that you need to reconcile. So if I tap on that, now this is the page that gives me the list of all of my warehouses. So we decided that it's better to show the list of warehouses, unlike in the web application that you list everything, all the counts all over for across all of your warehouses. Here we are presenting the user with the warehouse to select first. So if you're physically in the main warehouse and when you reconcile the items in the main warehouse, you start from there. So I choose the main warehouse. Here I see a list of the same list that we see on the web application. Now here grouped by each class code. So another improvement in the user usability is that now they're already grouped by the class codes. There are few tools and signs. Initially everything is open, haven't completed anything, but the tab on the top lets you switch between open and completed list. So again, the same thing, I can browse. If the list is too big, I can use the search, or if I have the barcode, I can do the barcode. Spot range. So it selects the spot range, opens the form for editing the amount, and it shows the current amount as 147 and populates the revised amount with the same number. You can tap on that, it's editable, and make it 245. You can also change the unit cost at this time if you want. Tap on save. And what it does is it removes the item from my open list and adds it to the completed list. So I'll continue reconciling items one by one. And also, as you can see, now the count is changed to 48. When I'm done with all the items, then it's the time that someone, the supervisor in the main application, comes here. So of course, I retrieve the data. They go to count. You see that there's this spot range 247 revises 245 by this user. Again, you see the rest of the items already reconciled. So the user, the supervisor comes here, right-clicks, and completes the reconciliation, and that updates all your stock counts. So this is the reconciliation functionality. The last thing that I want to show is the settings. Very briefly, it's basically a place that we show some session information like the username, the admin that you're working. You can log out of the system from here, and also you can take the tour again from this
You
place.
see the screen.
Oh, yes, thank you. So I'll say it again. So the settings is the last tab. Tap on it. The username, the admin unit, the button for logging out of the system, and the ability to take the tool again. And we are thinking of adding more functionalities in this under the settings, things like contacting the support for troubleshooting and things like that. And this concludes this part of the demo for the iOS materials. Question?
So the settings on the front page, is it the same settings as what's inside?
It's different. It's different. And we're planning to, we haven't decided what to do with it, but this settings in the front page, it is like an admin level settings for changing things like the what server you're connected to, things like that. But it's not a good place for giving it. We are still debating what to do with it. But for now, we can do that button.
I'd like to ask for everybody in here, is there anyone using barcodes on your material? Anyone?
And why not? You don't have scanners? So the good thing about the iPhone is that every iPhone has a camera. So if you use this app, it's basically you have a scanner already built in your device.
I put the barcodes in the main application.
Yeah, that's the thing. I told you the easy part.
My question is about an item in 2 locations, same garage unit, but 2 locations. It doesn't scan, like I can go over here and say, okay, this one has 10, scan all 10, and then go across to the other side and scan how many are there. It doesn't do the math. I have to do the math, right? So it gives me my count, and I have to match that count. I have to count both locations.
So it depends on how your material inventory is set up. If you have, so all of these rows that you see as the stocks are one record in our material inventory. And the way that we treat different warehouses, I think that what you're talking about is, you're not of different warehouses, we're using different codes within the material inventory to differentiate between different stocks within one warehouse. That's not what you're doing.
Just different locations.
Just different.
Like, chair 5, chair 8. Okay, so he's sitting there, and I want to count him, and that keeps total out.
They are different warehouses?
Both
No,
chairs.
same warehouse.
Same warehouse.
Just different physical locations in one place.
Yeah, I have to think about that. I'll talk to you after this to see if maybe there's a way to do it, the computer system do it, but after this I'll follow up.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Question number 1, have you thought about user conflict management? Like, see, I'm using iPhone to do the material management, and then it's doing the same thing. So there could be potentially a conflict, right? We both are using iPhones or iPads to do the work, and then we back in the server. Okay, there will be some conflict. Okay.
It's no different though than 2 people on a browser.
Yeah. So it's basically the policy is that the last one wins, and this is the same thing in the browser. So in the main application, 2 people might work in different 2 browsers, and they overlap each other. And having a conflict resolution strategy for that would be good, but this doesn't add to that as a problem. Still have that problem of 2 people writing over each other, which is kind of maybe you don't want to call it a problem. It is last one wins. So if someone
Potentially, like by myself, I can get a paranoid. So I just put 15 in the they've updated to 17, and then I go back to the system, oh, it becomes 17. So
Right.
I must have done something wrong, right?
But the same thing could be two people in different browsers working on their laptop do the same thing, right? Through the main application, through this.
Okay, my second question is about disconnect mode. And so, actually, I'm from a less industrialized world, okay, from West Virginia. So, no, West Virginia is a mountainous state. So you go somewhere you may not have wireless. I cannot get back to the internet, right? So I do some work out in the field, in the warehouse. My phone might be in disconnect mode. So this app work?
Very good point. This is absolutely in our plans to improve the app, both apps, this and the Fleet, and all the apps that we do to enable offline functionality. Right now it works online. It needs that connection. Now actually someone asked about what kind of connection you need. Basically we don't restrict anything, but the lower speed that you have, the lower usability is worse user experience. But we need that connection, either wireless or through data plan. The app works online. But definitely we have it in our plans to improve the app to kind of store the changes locally when you don't have any connection. As soon as you get a connection, either come back to the office or it will sync it up to the which is definitely something that we want to do.
That's what I wish. So I go back to office, I can park in and do the same.
My question is, you just have like the receiving from the purchase order. Will you have another option like if they receive it from a credit card? Because in Oklahoma, we receive by a PO or a credit card. So we show both.
So you want to,
one or the other.
You want to record information about that credit card?
It's always the last 4 digits of the credit card holder's number.
Okay. This is definitely something that we can add. Now, whether or not we're going to go that far to make it customized per client, that's something that we have to debate what to do. But if you have that field in the material transfer, then it's easy field to be added in that form.
Just one other quick question on you have the quantity that's in the warehouse right now, current.
Correct.
Could you add, and again, I'm not customizing for Oklahoma, but having the current unit price they already have in the inventory, so when they receive, because we have users make mistakes when they receive the wrong unit cost, kind of compare what the current cost is in the system and what they're receiving it at on the app?
In the reconciliation? Oh, in the receiving.
In the receiving.
Okay. That was just the same question. We can show, yeah.
My question was on the going out. She's asking on coming in. So coming in, can you show the current price of receiving compared to?
Oh, we get it from the same
price
material.
from-
Okay, got it.
We have all the data.
We have all the data. It's easy to populate that field with some data and getting it from you give it in material master, I guess, right? The unit costs all come from there. Yeah. So that's easy to do. That's a good point. You can add it easily to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the terminology inherited from the main system or is it fixed in the mobile app? Like, for example, for release from, you say, most of the people will say sell, right? So.
Yeah. We decided not to use, the way that we have our sort of palm IDs and have custom labels. Go with one common terminology across all the clients. But I'm sure at some point we have to, we have to see whether we need to change it or not. But right now it is basically in the mobile app. We are thinking definitely is one thing that we want to add in our apps, which actually for you might be interesting to know, that is we are adding localization. We are planning to add localization. So things like signs, date formats and things like that. We will definitely have a plan to do that. And whether or not the labels will be part of the localization or not. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job.